Good evening, late night, whatever, speed gaming fans. Welcome to another Super Metroid 100% tournament matchup. My name is Tracy, and with me tonight is Apathy Duck. How you doing, Duck?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to this race in the 100% tournament. We have Maniacal versus KRISTOPHOLO, the 31 versus 34 seeds. So we're going to have a good one here.
Yeah, their qualification times were really close together. Maniacal had a 25:40, and Cristofolo had a 25:46. Both really close. I know Maniacal just PB'd. He had with a 23:17 last night, so that's pretty good. But Cristofolo also has a 23:57 PB. So it really just depends. I know Maniacal's been practicing a lot. Just really depends on how much Cristofolo has been practicing. We'll see how close this race will get.
Yeah, and of course, both of these runners, longtime members of the Super Metroid community. Cristofolo left us for a while, but has come back. It's good to see him back. And we'll get this nice close race going, and already into series. All right, and not a whole lot to say about series. It's pretty much the same every time. We're going to go into Ridley. We're going to damage ourselves down, and we're going to head on out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, these guys are only 6 seconds apart on their qualification times. Yet somehow they're not the 32 versus 33. There's just a whole roadblock or road mess between the 25-40 ties, 25-43, and then 25-46. So just everyone's all smushed up in this mid 25 range for the qualifier. All of those races should be really good. Looking forward to them.
Yeah, this is the fun part where you get to see the close matchups like this, getting those two close seeds going at it. See what their series times.
Having decent steam patterns, not having any problems getting through here though.
Michael was a little bit ahead, then he fell on the stairs there, in the last tower, and Stoffel going to get out of series a little bit faster.
Yeah, not doing that last run perfectly with all the steam pattern. Like if you can go straight up, you'll be able to avoid all the steam. The second you get hit or anything, it just kind of really compounds. Maniacal able to at least kind of clean it up. It's not a big deal, especially in Hundo. Like there's just so much.
Yeah, so many things going on in this category. I do believe we are going to get 2 early croc runs. I know for a fact the Maniacal is an early croc runner. I believe Chris as well. We'll see. He'll show us for sure, of course.
Yeah, I think Maniacal said he used to run late croc and then switched and like PB'd within like 2 runs doing it just because.
Yep, that's right.
The late croc, there's just I was kind of talking about this Kip in the earlier match, but like everyone thinks about like the ice clip, and that's really not even the big deal.
It's not even the ice clip. There's so many other things. Yeah,
managing the wreck ship health, just having to deal with ice beam. Honestly, in a lot of these rooms is pretty bad. There's so much that can go wrong. You're kind of at an ammo disadvantage for most of the run. And like on just getting the wreck ship E-tank without grapple with high jump and speed is kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, you have to either turn things off or do a little bomb jump in that particular room, and that's just with low health. If you fall down those spikes, you could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's just
honestly, a very scary thing.
Yeah, the main thing, even if nothing else, it just leads to so many more resets. Honestly, even if you are saving time, you're just gonna be dying and resetting a bunch of wrecks here.
Of course, getting that all-important morph ball, the one item that you absolutely cannot beat this game without. Like saying randomizer, you absolutely need a morph ball. Everything else is negotiable. Of course, it's not being randomizer. We're going to get all the items, all 100% of them. Shuffle taking a little bit of an early lead. Maniacal looked maybe a little bit nerves kicking in, having missed that moonfall early on. But lots more to go here. KRISTOPHOLO going to be the first into the climb. Going to use the wall jump strats. That's also, I believe Maniacal has switched to the ledge grabs. Pretty comparable in time. When you consider that pretty much the two best players in the world both use different strats here and have very comparable times in, say, any percent. Just, kind of more of a personal preference thing. It's nice to see side by side the different strats.
Yeah, it really just is a comfort thing. I think most people end up with the wall jumps just because wall jumps are so important in this game. Is you're gonna get good at them at some point. So it's once you get pretty good at wall jumps, it's not too difficult to do.
And here we get our bombs. Pretty much sync up on this bomb picked up. Chris just a little bit ahead. Let's see how they do on their bomb Terizos. Right here, they're going to want to stay at that full health so that when they get drops, they are going to get missiles.
Yeah, we're seeing just different strats here. Maniacal setting up so Bomb Chorizo will jump back immediately. KRISTOPHOLO going with the roll in, force him back. The immediate one is obviously make it a little faster, goes into that pattern a little quicker. You're basically trying to get those drops to come out as soon as possible.
Okay, Maniacal leaves with full energy and full missiles, as does KRISTOPHOLO. Always good. Maniacal struggling with the Alcatraz escape here. He isn't quite getting that morph in. And KRISTOPHOLO uses that to take the lead here. There it is.
Yeah, it's one of those things that all of a sudden will just disappear on you for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, so these two are not the best players. The best players would be Zost and Behemoth, so let's be clear on that. Maniacal and KRISTOPHOLO, two very, very good players. Anyone that gets into this tournament, we are talking about the top 48 qualifiers. So yeah, these guys, no slouches at this game. Really, anyone that's a sub 130, just really good.
And we're coming up to our first divergence for Hundo. Going to be getting the supers, and we're also be collecting all the other stuff in here that normally you just skip at any percent.
And unfortunately, since we don't have any missiles at the point, pretty much can't have any missiles at this point, we do have to get the super here first. We're going to try and do a D-boost to go back quicker. Shuffle gets it. Maniacal as well. We'll use one of those super missiles to get into the room with the reserve tank. Pick up the items back here.
Yeah, and both of them going for the missile first. Either way it's pretty equal. I know Zenny was saying he had timed it a couple times, and he kind of switched to the reserve first. I've kind of switched to that just because I prefer the movement. You get the door like kind of open on the way back automatically. Makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, and I would trust Zenny on those kind of things. I know he does a lot of that sort of timing. Zenny, I believe, ended up with the #1 seed in this tournament, and has his second best hundo time overall. So
it looked like KRISTOPHOLO was going for the reverse mock ball. The Maniacal also went for, didn't get it. KRISTOPHOLO didn't really have any speed coming into that room, so it was just kind of short jumped it.
Yeah, it's a tough mock ball. Well, definitely one of the harder ones in the game.
Yeah, Maniacal also missing this quick drop. If you don't get it, the best thing to do is just quick drop, jump back up, jump back out. Those steads are just gonna bomb their way out, go out the room. It is a time loss, but it's early on in the run. It's really not a big deal. It's a bunch of really hard strats, so you just kind of have to accept it and move on.
And we're still pretty much very, very close. Just as expected. Heading into Big Pink for the first time. We'll be back here later. And that missile that KRISTOPHOLO just skipped, as well as Maniacal, we'll get that later on. It's a little bit faster to get it while you're laying the power bomb, to get down here later when they go get the energy tank at Waterway. As we head into the Green Hill Zone.
Maniacal getting the D boost is very nicely done. Did it with just a little P shot too instead of a charge shot. Makes the hitbox a lot smaller and a lot tougher to get. So very nicely done by him.
And about a door transition apart right now. And of course, this being 100%, we are going to pick up that Spazer Beam.
Yeah, Maniacal able to just kind of take the lead here off just a little bit cleaner two rooms, showing how close they are. I mean, nothing major happened, just, just a couple, like, pretty much that D-boost that he was able to get, was able to put him in the lead just by a little bit. Obviously, KRISTOPHOLO not far behind at all, come back with basically just anything.
And we're going to head over towards Kraid.
KRISTOPHOLO getting the super shots, but unfortunately just kind of ran straight off, although Maniacal's having a little bit trouble just getting this strat where he jumps up. It's definitely what you want to see in these races, just a bunch of back and forth.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely expect it to be like this for most of the run.
KRISTOPHOLO making sure he gets all 5 supers. Gonna want to use one on the Ghidorah here, and we'll see if we can get the quick kill. Probably gonna go for the. Looks like I do believe Maniacal usually goes for the 1-shot 4 supers. We'll see if KRISTOPHOLO goes for the same thing. And 1 quick kill. 2 quick kills. Very nicely done.
Yeah, usually you don't come in here with 5 super missiles, 1 for the door and 4 for Kraid in Hundo. So you have to kind of go out of your way a little bit on mini Kraid to make sure you're full up, or get another super from somewhere else to use the charge move strat rather than the missile strat.
Yeah, missile strat is a little bit faster, but if you're more consistent with the charge beam, definitely want to go for that instead. And again, about a door transition apart.
So it's not as big of a deal for early Croc since you have that extra E-Tank, but this is the first time you can start filling up some of your reserves if you choose to use them for the Gauntlet Shine. Both of them killed the bugs before picking up the E-Tank, though, so they weren't able to get anything in the reserves there. But I think both of them got a little health from some of those bugs coming out, though.
Okay, KRISTOPHOLO going to be the first to get those all-important high jump boots. Another E-Tank here does manage to kill the Nova before and then open the door.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm not sure if you meant to skip the E-Tank. Most players get it on the way in.
Yeah, I
slightly
believe so.
faster that way, but not a big deal whatsoever.
Yeah, it'd be definitely if you miss it on the way in, you don't want to go back to get it until you come back. It just would be just more of a time loss. The biggest thing is just making sure that you open that door ahead of time so you don't have to worry about chasing down the Nova on the way out. And of course, now we're going to get to one of the first commonly missed items in 100%. We do have to get all 100% of the items. So if you get 99%, you will lose. And we see there's these cathedral missiles, one of the easier items to miss, one of the harder items to find when playing the game casually.
Yeah, Hundo really doesn't divert much from any percent to this point. You have to do the extra stuff in early supers, get Spazer if you're a player who skips the Spazer normally. And then this is really the first thing that it's like the only category you ever get that missile is in Hundo. So if you're not thinking about it, it's pretty easy just to go straight over it. Just kind of default to your any percent strats.
We're about to see another missile that's commonly skipped. Nice deboost from Chris over there into the.
Yeah, I'm not
Oh, but he
entirely
didn't have a super. He had to go back and farm for the cack attack.
I don't think he was going for that deboost, but it worked out pretty well. Well, I don't know, kind of well for him.
Yeah.
He at least didn't fall down. That's the worst thing in that room is falling down. Just turns the whole room turns into a nightmare because everything's off cycle, and it's just a giant time loss from falling down.
Yeah, Maniacal taking another lead, and there's that missile. Maniacal and KRISTOPHOLO both remember to pick it up.
Yeah, I think we're already up to 4 or 5 lead changes at this point.
Oh, well, at least. And getting that all-important speed booster, so now we can go fast. Gonna do a little bit of extra farming here. Make sure they have decent ammo.
Yeah, and Hundo, you generally don't want to farm here too much. You still have a couple opportunities to pick up some ammo that you need before Croc. There's another farming spot when you right by the wave gate.
Yep.
That if you're super low, you can farm there as well. You can do one farm there pretty quickly. Just do a down shot with your Spazer and get a few drops.
And picking up that all-important wave beam. I always call this the most important sequence break that we have in this game. A lot of people like to think of the skipping Spore Spawn and getting those early supers, but the amount of time this saves is so much more if you did this the quote-unquote intended way, which would mean getting that speed booster to get the ice beam, to go all the way up Red Tower to get your first power bombs, to go down to Croc to get your grapple beam, to go across the grapple box here to get your wave beam. That all gets taken out just by picking up the wave beam here. Just with a simple little wall jump.
Yeah, which granted we could just skip wave beam ourselves if we wanted to do some other stuff, but
not
if you're doing just a casual, just not in Hundo, sure. But yeah, if you're just playing this game casually, you want to cut out a whole loop of the game. You can just get that wave beam, and it really cuts out a massive chunk of time.
All right, into the Croc fight. And we are both going to do the early Croc. Good to see a race this close. Going to be nice to see them doing the same route.
Yeah, there's actually a couple minor route diversions you can take in Hundo. It seems like the early power bombs has really fallen out of favor. The only one I've seen use it anymore really is Zost.
Yep.
It's a little bit more difficult, so really only like the higher end players would even like really consider it because like it's almost effectively exactly tied. There's a lot of that goes into comparing it. So I think the last I saw Zenny did a comparison was like under a second or something.
Yeah, I've always heard that it was fairly comparable, and like you said, I trust Zenny's judgment on these things. He really spends a lot of time doing those comparisons to try and figure out the optimal ways to do things in this game.
Yeah, I know Oates had dropped it fairly recently too. But that's the other major one. Although like people don't talk about this much, the Mission Impossible, I think of that more as a route divergence than anything else because it's again it's a very minor time loss or time save to go for it.
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing to me that the early power bombs does is it means you don't have to think about getting that missile later. Like just that peace of mind. You don't have to think about it and worry about skipping it later when you come back to Norfair to do the cleanup.
Yeah, that's true. But you also don't get to do the spring ball strat.
Yeah, that's true. Man, those spring ball strats are really fun. It'll be interesting to see what strats we see here. Maniacal was practicing both the doing this with the the Indiana Jones strat and just getting the missiles ahead of time. See what he goes for here, and we'll see what KRISTOPHOLO goes for as well. Okay, Maniacal decides not to go for Indiana Jones and decides to just pick up the missile. It's like KRISTOPHOLO is going to go for it.
Yeah, it's really not that terrible once you start, practice it and just like where you need to jump and do the grapple. But it's just such a nightmare if you miss it. It's a huge time loss.
Yep, absolutely. And KRISTOPHOLO gets it. Very nice.
Oh, Maniacal's gonna go for the mock ball. Oh, that's a very nice. That is a pretty swag
That was
mock ball
sweet.
to get.
Some people call that the best one in the game. I don't know if it's the best one, but it certainly is a nice one.
Yeah, and pretty much just syncing up right after that.
And it's just pretty amazing here. Like almost every time we see them picking up an item, at some point in the item pickup, they're both picking it up.
Yeah, they've been completely on top of each other this entire time.
Awful doing some farming. Looks like Maniacal's going to do some as well.
Yeah, at this point, really, all you have to worry about with your health is being able to kill Phantoon.
Yep.
Get pretty experienced at Phantoon. Even going in there with Varia suit, like with 60 or so health, like really isn't all that scary. The main thing is with Varia, since it does half damage. The big thing is all the energy drops you get in there give you one full hit, as opposed to if you didn't have Varia, you need two to get one hit. So with Varia, it's massively safer. Maniacal getting the super shot on the door. I think he was a little surprised he got it, so he shot another super
That
off.
was a little weird looking.
In celebration, I suppose.
Maybe
he was planning on using an extra one and just decided to do it for consistency.
Also interesting to watch Maniacal go up the business center there and farming a little bit extra health there as he's on his way up. Doing that looks like he was doing that instead of doing more of the bugs that KRISTOPHOLO was doing earlier.
Yeah, I mean it's not. It's just for health at this point. He's got plenty of super. He's going to get one here from this CAC, and then there's two later. So his super count will be fine.
And KRISTOPHOLO going to take this time to turn off. We're both going to take the time to turn off space. A little more optional to menu during the Shine Spark. This will allow them to do X factors on Phantoon.
Yeah, I guess the main reason to do it here rather than the West Ocean Shine is Spazer makes this upshot for Red Tower Climb a bit annoying. So you can just take it off there and you don't have to worry about it.
Unfortunately, Maniacal not quite getting the shot in the first try.
Yeah, wider being there.
KRISTOPHOLO gains a nice D boost to the power bombs. KRISTOPHOLO having a little bit less luck getting out.
Yeah, he was going for a wall jump off of one of those side blocks there into a D boost. It's a little tricky to get. Okay, now going to go after the beta power bombs.
I'm going to try and group these side hoppers all together so we can get them in one power bomb shot.
Yeah,
This room is actually... Yeah, go ahead.
You're just opting to roll in. Optimally you do like a pretty tricky blue suit, but if you do a shine here, you can kill them and reduce lag from the power bombs.
Yeah, you'll see some of the other runners do that. Yep.
Yeah, just decide to take it safe. Just come in, roll in, and killing all of them with the power bomb. You have to do a little bit of a manip there to make sure you kill both of them, but it's not too bad.
It is one of the more interesting rooms in that you have the yapping maws that can grab you. But what's interesting is if you shoot one of those yapping maws with the super, you only have to kill one. You have to kill one less of the side hoppers. So you always have to kill 3 enemies rather than killing all 5 to get that door to open.
It's still on top of each other, heading into a wreck ship. So we'll see how both their Fantoons go, whether they can both get a 2 cycle and what the patterns are like. Might open up this race a little bit more.
And a goop spark from Maniacal isn't going to help him here.
Yeah, just depending on where you get that spark, that you charge that shine, you can kind of just like fall off an edge there, and when you think you're going to jump, you actually accidentally activate it. So it can be pretty annoying.
And KRISTOPHOLO making sure to get these missiles before the ship gets activated, so he doesn't have to deal with what I like to think of as Spiky Room of Death Part 2. Very safe to do it now. If you wait till later, it's a very dangerous room, and even if it doesn't kill you, it could take you down far enough that the actual room we call Spiky Room of Death will get you.
It's gonna be harder to. You can't do all of these strats that you're doing here. It's gonna be slower.
And nice speedball from KRISTOPHOLO to get into the Fantoon area.
It's probably the one room no one's ever come up with a strat for, because just go there before you turn the ship on. Like
Yeah.
that sounds like something that FSG would spend time on trying to figure out a good for that room with it on.
Oh, and KRISTOPHOLO missing the shot there is going to have to go into the invisible pattern. The invisible patterns are just like the regular patterns. They also have a fast, mid, and slow. It looks like he got the slow pattern here on the invisible stage, so had to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, he actually does know how to deal with still X factoring. So very nicely done doing that out of a rain phase. And Maniacal unfortunately missing his X factor. Now's the one time you don't want to fast, because you won't be able to shoot with your X factor particles still on. Looks like KRISTOPHOLO was going for 2 X factor and then didn't get it and tried to back up maybe into the Doppler.
There he finishes him off with the last X Factor. 2 particles hitting, but only needed 2. Maniacal finishing up Fantoon a little bit faster in general, but a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, you don't see the double X Factor all that much anymore. A lot of times you see players do a little mini Doppler to finish off the X Factor fight. So at this point, they have plenty of health. All they have to do is get through Spiky Room of Death. They're going to get an E-Tank after that, and after that is when health management becomes very important, because they're going to try to skip the ship. Extra damage they take is going to be pretty problematic for them. So health management becomes very, very important in this segment.
Yeah, it's even been suggested that if you have to stop at the ship in order to refill, it's actually faster to get the gauntlet items at the end of the run instead of at this point in the run. I don't know how much research has been done on that, but definitely a possibility. All right, KRISTOPHOLO going to be the first one to get into that spiky room. And yeah, this is the last really dangerous part of the run. in terms of dying.
Maniacal showing why the water physics with these platforms is just pretty nightmarish.
Yeah, thank goodness for that Varia suit. And for this nice free E-tank refill here.
Yeah, so I was saying before, right now is when the health management really... It's really the only part of the run in Hundo, especially with early croc, where you really have to worry about health management. The main thing really is having a clean spiking room of death on the way back, and then just not taking a bunch of damage in attic. This is an interesting deboost strat. I haven't seen that before, coming back into spiking room of death.
Yeah, I have not seen that either.
Yeah, like
Um,
all these hits are are not what you want here.
no.
So he could still be okay if he has a clean rest of wreck ship, but he's got to be very careful from this point on out.
Yeah, and to be clear, this is not really in terms of health. It's not really a worry about dying here. It's literally they need. I want to say like 220 energy to get the Shine Spark into the Gauntlet area and to get it all the way through. So definitely want to make sure you have that health.
Yeah, and KRISTOPHOLO going with the longer shine there too. Again, it's just eating into what he does have. Maniacal doing a little bit of a shorter one with supering that that atomic and then shining through.
Yeah, right now Maniacal about an E-tank up in terms of health.
With the early croc route, that shine definitely can be done. It's not too bad, especially if you get a couple of good health drops afterwards. But again, it is eating into your total health.
Yeah, this whole area is one of the biggest differences with the early croc versus the late croc. Just having that extra E-tank, not having that grapple beam to get the E-tank, just those little things just make the run a lot easier. And nice use of speed echoes there without having to shine spark to get through that room.
Another important health conservation strat. I think it's also just purely faster too, but you can miss it like Maniacal just did. I think he's just going to back up into the shine though.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It will
Yeah,
cost him some energy, but it's probably faster at this point and to take the chance and not have to worry about it.
after all that though, they pretty much even on health. So both should be able to skip the ship coming up here. They both did menu to take off Spazer. If you leave it on for the Fantoon fight, you can not get a free refill from reserves because it does take frames to actually refill. But you don't have to do an extra pause. They can just opt to do an extra pause here for a little extra time if it's going to come that close. It's better to do the pause than to refill.
And both in bowling at the same time. And this reserve tank, this is the reason why we can't do wreck ship first in Hundo. Until someone figures out a way to get around those speed blocks, this will always have to come second. And now we'll pick up the gravity suit. One last item in this area to pick up in the ocean.
Yeah, nice little mock ball getting out there, beating the blocks reforming. And gets the lake ball strat. Very nicely done.
Maniacal also getting the mock ball out. Yeah, KRISTOPHOLO can be really close on that energy when he goes through that shine spark. But you know, if he can be a little careful here, he should have enough. Maniacal a little bit better off.
Yeah, he may have to dip into those reserves. I think he'll be okay here of 226. You would think I would know exactly what it is, but I somehow don't.
And now to set up the wraparound, it is slightly different positioning depending on whether you have that spacer on or not.
Yeah, it's also pixel perfect with wave beam. So there are a bunch of advantages to keeping that that spacer on through the proc fight if you can do the 2-round Doppler. Yeah, and it does look like KRISTOPHOLO did opt to dip into those reserves, just give him just enough. Actually, them ending with identical 66 health. Maniacal
Nice.
being able to skip the pause, able to catch up just a little bit there.
And once again, we saw them on the same item at the same time.
Yeah, and you don't even have to get all the way to the door. As long as you shine through the last block,
Yep.
then
Okay, KRISTOPHOLO setting up the crumble block fall nicely. Maniacal doing the same. Neither one going for the riskier strat of just jumping to the right spot. This is one of the scarier parts of the run. Huge time loss if you miss one of those missiles.
yeah, I don't know how much of the riskier strat we're going to see in the tournament for PB attempts for the top level players. They'll definitely go for it. But when it's a single elimination, you know, best of one.
Yep.
You know, that's a good minute plus time loss.
Yeah, I'm actually more interested to see which of the top runners will go for it when they're playing. When they're playing each other, they'll have to go for it. But when they're playing, like in say the round of 32, they'll still go for it when they should have an overall pretty big advantage.
They don't even have to go for it when they're playing each other. Like it's only, you know, like a second faster. Again, it's a
That's true. But I suspect, yeah, I expect they'll go for it.
Guys.
I expect them to go for it, but you know, we'll see. Okay, now we got the Brinstar cleanup. Oh no, Maniacal. That's a tough one. He's gonna have to go back around to get that E-Tank and that super missile.
Yeah, this isn't as bad as the Gauntlet or the GT missile coming up later, but it's probably a good 30 seconds of time loss. He's going to come up here and then all the way back down.
And as close as these runners have been and are in general, that could be the big difference in this race.
Yeah, I think it's better to go up, get the PB, and then come down here because then you can just come straight back. You don't have to go back. All right, people in chat who know better than me are saying nah. So I always just get the power bomb and come back down. Always. Well, I mean, I just try not to do it, but sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but that room is actually identical to a room in the original Metroid, where it has the exact same trap. Ironically, in the original, it's actually in Ridley's lair, so more Norfair oriented. So kind of interesting that it shows up here in Brinstar. And let's see. now in the Mission Impossible room for KRISTOPHOLO. Does get out. Almost falls back down.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about before. Kind of by going for this Mission Impossible, you change the order you get these two items. Kind of completely changes this big pink area. I think it's only about, like, if you do it optimally, it's only about 2 seconds. The issue is, like, it's really big 99% bait, because if you go for Mission Impossible, you're not going to get it every single time. And then you have to go do these rooms in an opposite order.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy just to forget one.
Maniacal not going for it. Setting up for the Spore Spawn skip here. Each in a different spot. There are several spots you can fire that super missile from to get that block.
Yeah, it's one of the places having Moonwalk on really helps, because you can do some more camera manipulations to get to the right spot. So it looks like they're tied, but KRISTOPHOLO actually has a pretty good advantage now, because he already got this Wavegate E-Tank.
Maniacal doing a nice job opening the gate and falling on the top and not falling down. And we got the waterway E-Tank, which is the last item we're going to get in this area. And we see Maniacal about to pick up the charge missiles that we skipped earlier. Yeah, you can lay that power bomb, pick it up while the power bomb's going off.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's faster to get here, and we don't need the missiles for anything early on. Generally, you pick up those missiles. They're actually not even optimal in like any percent. It's faster to get other missiles, but you really want those missiles early on. But since we picked up all the early E-Tank or early super missiles, it's not a problem in Hundo, so it's easy enough to skip them and get them optimally later.
Right, and this will be it for the Brinstar area until we come back to do the Retro Brin cleanup later, the very end of the run. And we get to go back down and into Meridia.
Yeah, so at this point, I think KRISTOPHOLO's got probably about a 30-second lead. Pretty much just that mistake Maniacal made. He was already in the lead a little bit, but that's really explains most of the gap here. But I mean, like with pretty much all runs in SM, except for maybe like low percent, we do end with a baby skip, and that's a good 30 seconds right there if you don't get it or go for it. So even a fairly sizable gap can be made up right at the end of the run.
Staffel gonna go for what I think is probably the easier strat, getting that short charge off the ledge. I believe Maniacal will go for the stutter strat that's from the bottom. We'll save a little bit of time there if he gets it right away.
It's actually a handful of seconds, but it's a pretty tricky short charge. Especially with the crab being in the way that you have to deal with right away. No, it looks like Maniacal also. Okay. Maniacal's definitely capable of doing that short charge.
For sure.
I'm surprised he's not going for it.
And KRISTOPHOLO picking up that missile in the Mama Turtle room, which is another one of those items that pretty easy to forget, pretty hard to find when playing this the first time.
Yeah, when you're playing casually, you kind of just powerbomb everything, and if you're just sort of powerbombing that room, it's still not really going to show you where it is.
And now picking up those crab supers. I always like this item because the game shows you that there's something there, because you see the supers when you're climbing up in the first place, and you don't know how to get them. But then when you get into this next room, you see the crab go through the hole, and you're like, oh, okay, let's try that.
Yeah, and the crabs showing you the way is actually even required to move forward with getting out of Meridia later on. Same kind of trick. Crabs come out of the ground. Heading into the beach area, which is honestly just kind of an annoying couple of rooms. There's a bunch of enemies and like really bad places here, so we have to deal with them.
Well, not only that, just like this whole area right here would be so nice with spring ball, and there's no optimal way to put this after you get your spring ball. So gotta do it now with bombs. Like right there, that little bomb jump that KRISTOPHOLO had to do would be so nice if you just do that with spring ball instead.
You can do a jump morph into it, but it's pretty tricky to do.
And of course, now Meridia is just in general a nightmare to route. Very non-linear area of the game. There are a few little differences you might see here and there in terms of the order you pick things up. Like in this next room, in the aqueduct, there are 2 items here. The runners could get this now. And there's going to be 2 more times they're going to come through this room. It's definitely least optimal to do it now. So see KRISTOPHOLO just leaving that area behind.
Yeah, if you get it later, you either have to do a fairly tight short charge, or not quite as tight as Main Street, or there's an optimal way to do it with a spring ball and space jump, where you do a nice little blue suit. But that strat is very difficult.
KRISTOPHOLO got the X Factor and ended up with I guess 1.5. Finished, cleaned it up pretty quickly. Didn't quite get the 1 round.
Yeah, and Hundo is, if you can kind of get that quick second cycle, it's really not too bad overall. There's just so much, this run is just so long that little things like really messing up all the bosses and stuff, not nearly as punishing as they would be in like 80%. Looks like KRISTOPHOLO is just opting to do the half here.
Oh, nice 1 round by Maniacal off that nice X Factor. And this E-Tank here, the Maniacal, is going to run right by is another item. We're going to be in this room 3 times total, so almost nobody picks it up the first time round. I mean, the only time you would do that is if you were really low on health at this point. Pretty equal whether you pick it up the second time through or the third time through.
Now in our Dragon fight, it's still optimal here to do the 80% strat where you do the X Factor into the shines, but you can, if you're not great at that, you can do the grapple quick kill. Still a little bit slower just because you have to go through the entire quick or the grapple animation of Dragon actually dying. But it is an option if you struggle with this fight.
Yeah, the grapple quick kill is a very nice backup here, and looks like KRISTOPHOLO's going to go for it.
Yeah, and KRISTOPHOLO did this correctly, that if you are going to go for this, you might as well still open with a shine, because it just will reduce the amount of health that Dragon has and make this part a little quicker. Yeah, Maniacal kind of showing off why the grapple quick kill can be a good idea, because if you do, this fight can go pretty wrong pretty quickly otherwise. But we have a bunch of ammo, we can just kind of clean it up nicely here.
And picking up that space jump.
Yeah, Cristofolo took the lead off of Maniacal's mistake in Edacoons, and really just not letting it up, just playing fairly cleanly, not giving Maniacal any room to come back, and really making Maniacal pay for all the mistakes he is making at this point.
Oh, Maniacal did not catch that he decided to get this missile, the so-called precious missile, after the Dragon fight. That's another easy one to forget.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. That's I'm not sure if he always does that or he just.
I don't think he does, but we might have to ask him afterwards. Okay, now to the interesting routing part. We're gonna go down the right sand pit here. Oh, it looks like Kristopho's gonna go ahead and get these items now. Maniacal gonna go ahead and get the E-tank now.
You know, opt not to. I'm pretty sure if he's going to do the shine on the bottom, he might as well get him earlier.
Yeah, it's pretty equal, I think.
Because you can just run straight over here and get speed instead of making this loop and then have to come back around. So Maniacal might be able to make up some time here, although if he misses this, yeah, unfortunately he is missing the short charge. Just opts to do it on the bottom instead of struggling with it.
And there we get the right sand pit items. Sand physics being my least favorite part of this game. They get this shiny new gravity suit, and all of a sudden you go into Meridia, and you can move through the water, but then they throw sand in.
Yeah, I remember when I played this game casually, just like this area was just an absolute nightmare to get.
Oh, absolutely.
And like these like sand like waterfalls have really weird like it somehow propels you up more. Like it doesn't make any.
All right, Kristofol gets to take a little bit of a break here. Gonna power bomb here and let Shaktul do his thing. And we do see both runners in the room at the same time, so still pretty close race. Any mistake, enough of a mistake by Kristofol, and Maniacal will have a shot to catch up.
Yeah, let's see if we can this spring ball pickup figure out what the gap is exactly. Like 56, 52, 56 pickup for Cristofolo. Like I think Maniacal's probably 20 to 30 seconds behind.
Yeah, about 30 seconds for that 53-26 pickup.
Yeah, like 29 seconds. So again, like that's just baby skip. So if Cristofolo doesn't get it, Maniacal does. That's pretty much all of the gap right there. Plus, we got another 20 minutes of gameplay left to go as well.
Next, we're going to go ahead and pick up this plasma beam. runners will lay a power bomb as they fall down there. The power bomb will damage the pirates that are on the walls, but not the ones that are standing up. See if Maniacal does that. Always like those little puyos that are sitting there that on the way in, if you shoot them, it takes forever. On the way out, you just fire one shot and they're all gone.
Yeah, there are some farming strats for like any extent where you take care of them with the missile, but in Hundo, we definitely don't need to worry about that at this point. That's a interesting place to shine.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that before.
Cack Alley, the reverse Cack Alley here is a really fun room, honestly, to practice. There's some pretty cool strats in there to be able to space jump all the way out and open the door and just fly straight through it.
KRISTOPHOLO looked like he was just double checking to make sure that he did indeed grab that E-tank.
Yeah, that, or he was just making sure he got the jump height to get
maybe
a good enough quick drop there. Otherwise, you can just be sitting there for a good minute while you just slowly sink through the sand. I might actually start doing that because like the quick drop coming back through is pretty annoying.
And we're gonna get these last items in Meridia. This doing the left sand pit last makes a lot of sense for a couple of reasons. One, you're a lot closer to the exit, but also I think Spring Ball is just so much more useful in the left sand pit here than it is in the right sand pit.
Yeah, it's definitely convenient that we want to go to Shack Tool first, and the one that the sand pit that the Spring Ball helps with is on the left.
Yep, absolutely.
Being a little nice to us in Meridia for once.
Alright, we are basically done with Meridia at this point. I'm gonna head on to my favorite part of the game, the lower Norfair section. First, we gotta pick up this missile, though.
Yeah, I expect both runners to pick it up here. You do have the option also of picking up on the way up from Lower Norfair at the end.
Yeah, most runners will opt to do it on the way down. I don't think, time-wise, I think it's pretty much the same. Just that peace of mind knowing you have that missile and not having to worry about it later.
Yeah, well, if you can do the spring ball strat, the mock ball into the spring ball, it's faster to do it here. If you're not doing that, I do believe it's pretty close to even.
Now, time to pick up the ice beam. Get that full beam combo going.
Yeah, one of the nice things about early Crocs, you get the ice beam late. So if you have any experience running old route, a lot of your strats just can carry over. With early Croc, you have to deal with ice beam for a lot more of the route, which ice beam tends just to get in the way more than it actually helps.
Also routes in nicely to get to Lower Norfair from here. If you're running the late Croc, you still have to go over this way and just don't quite go all the way to the ice beam.
Yeah, because they need ice beam to get for Shack Tool specifically. So they have to grab it early because they're not going to come back this way before going to Meridia, and then they have to come back for this whole area to do the shaft that we're about to see.
Yeah, and in particular, there is an item sitting here in the crumble shaft. One of the another one of those items that hard to find in casual play and easy to miss.
Now that
easy to
shine,
forget and skip.
that shine one was also fairly short. Is more just for safety. That crumble missile, if you do miss it, is a really one of the really bad items to miss because that room just again turns into a nightmare. That looks like Maniacal's going to be doing the same thing here. Oh, he's jumping through the door, which is a bit interesting. Yeah, that's probably should have just shined straight through.
Does manage to get it. Going to KRISTOPHOLO space jumping across into the lower Norfair area, laying that power bomb. Just gonna run right in.
Maniacal did get the space jump through. Unfortunately, did land it fairly early. Oh, but the worst part is not getting that second space jump there. That makes this room pretty slow to go through.
Absolutely.
Alright, so KRISTOPHOLO is at the bottom of the LN elevator at 1 hour and 38 seconds. We'll see where Maniacal is, see if we can get kind of an update on the gap of this race.
Looks like he's getting a little bit of time. Looks like 1 hour 105. This statue that KRISTOPHOLO just left, the whole reason why we can't do Lower Norfair before we do Meridia, you absolutely need to have space jump there. The game checks for a space jump, and the statue will not lower the acid if you don't have it.
Yeah, this game has so few hard locks. It's kind of bizarre that it has this like hard space lock check. Pretty much anything else, the game just if you can get over there, it lets you do it.
Yeah, there's some wacky strats you can do with crystal flashes under those crumble blocks, but they're just not viable in a run. If you want to do a green gate glitch and come from the other direction.
Maniacal is opting for the spring ball strats there. Makes it nice.
Yeah. They're very. It's a very safe strat. Those crumble blocks can be, if you fall and trying to space jump around them, you miss that missile. It's another huge time loss, having to come back all the way back around. Whereas with the spring ball, you can just hold jump. I find it very interesting that the game has it set up so with spring ball, if you're jumping as a spring ball, you just hold the jump button. You just keep jumping, which of course doesn't happen when you're doing regular jumps.
Yeah, you have to be a special kind of idiot to miss the GT missiles with spring ball strats. Cough.
Were you speaking from experience?
had a 99 earlier today.
And of course, picking up that screw attack. I always talk about the Lower Norfair really is my favorite part of the game, but not even just so much, in Hundo necessarily, but just in general, the fact that different categories, this part of the game just changes so much based on what category you're playing, what items you have. Right in the Hundo setting, it's just we have all the cool items. We can just go through really fast with that space jump screw attack combination, making things very quick and easy.
Worst room in the game becomes very much not the worst room in the game.
No, not at all.
It's loadout. It's pretty comfortable to do with screw attack and space jump. Even an old route, like it's really not that bad.
New route, and in particular, low percent. It's definitely worse room.
Low percent. Even in like RBO, where you have pretty much the same loadout, except you don't have Varia.
Yeah, the having not Varia. Yes, having a high jump and screw attack in RBO, not too bad. But yeah, just like I said, just part of what I really like about this area, just the difference, different categories, different items, different strats. It's just such a fun area, the fact that it changes depending on the item just makes it super cool to me. And I'm going to pick up the so-called power bombs as chained, called that because in any percent, if you're picking that extra item up. It's very shameful because you shouldn't need it. It means you ran out of power bombs. And 100% not so shameful because we have to pick up everything.
KRISTOPHOLO actually needed it. He was at 0 power bombs before
Yeah.
Although
So maybe it is a little shameful.
First, so he would have been able to get through.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been in that situation where I needed that power bomb to get through it. I don't know. You really use most of your power bombs on this. But yeah, it looks like Maniacal has caught up a little bit here. Both. I mean, this is a fairly long room, but you know, both in Metal Pirates. It's about a 10-second room, so Maniacal's definitely closed this gap up a little bit.
I feel like he's making up a little bit at a time, so we're gonna see if he can continue that.
And there's like this entire end game is very difficult. There's a lot of hard strats. So if Maniacal's a little bit more practiced, definitely can close this gap coming in up into Turian, and even through Turian. Turian is a very, very difficult segment as well.
KRISTOPHOLO doing some interesting strats, standing in the acid while firing those shots. Thankfully, we have a ton of E-tanks, so you can get away with that.
And we're about to get another one, so really any damage here just does not matter.
And 20 shots with this full beam combination. You saw Maniacal supplementing with those supers, which is a little bit higher DPS, especially if you can get Ridley in that nice pogo pattern to do it with.
Yeah, I think Maniacal's Ridley is also dead. Or maybe
there
not.
It is.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, unfortunately, Ridley went into that U swoop. I'm not sure if Maniacal could have like jumped up into the claws to end the fight faster. Okay, so KRISTOPHOLO entered the door at 6:18. We'll see where Maniacal is. That's definitely caught up in this lower Norfair section. It's like
32.
It was about 14 seconds. Just coming in, it was closer. It was like 25-ish seconds. So made up a good 10 seconds, and with the race this close, like that is a good chunk of time.
I always like this little strat that Maniacal uses to go through the spikes there.
Yeah, little spring wall strat.
Yep.
Unfortunately, not able to get the speed.
Yeah, neither one of them got the speedball out. Those key hunters are normally a very dangerous part of this run, but with plasma and screw attack, just get to fly right through them.
Yeah, let me tell you, once you start running new route, and key stairs is like the worst room.
Oh my god, the key hunters, the new route.
Coming through here with screw attack and plasma beam is kind of a cathartic experience. This and Three Musketeers, where you just murder them.
Absolutely.
It's a very cathartic experience. Like you spend so much time practicing those rooms for new route, and here it's just like, whatever. Like just run through it.
I'm going to point out that Maniacal with only 8 supers, KRISTOPHOLO with a nice count of 17 supers for Torian might make a bit of a difference. Nice to have those supers for the Mother Brain 1 fight in particular. Of course, the Metroid should drop plenty, so it may just end up not even mattering by the time we get there.
There's one more super pack, the criteria supers, so Maniacal will be closer to 13.
Yep.
I don't think we use any from here to there, so I mean that's normally you come in with 10. But I mean, you can definitely go into Torian with 10 and leave with less than 10. But
oh, for sure.
I mean, it's not going to be like an 80%. That would be the end of your run. But here, you have plenty of missiles. You can just shoot Mother Brain. But it is obviously slower.
And one last missile in the lower Norfair area. Yeah.
I think Maniacal got that mock ball. It wasn't the fastest mock ball, but we definitely got it. It's just saving a couple frames there. It's very nicely done. It's a very hard one to get because you have to space jump through the entire room very precisely. You can see what I'm saying. Just screw attack through these these three musketeers.
Oh yeah, so much nicer.
Maniacal haunting KRISTOPHOLO's heels right here. Definitely closing up this gap, even through this lower Norfair exit. Yeah, so very, very well done by Maniacal to close this gap. They're now in the same room again. That's interesting, picking up the missile first. Usually,
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Maniacal does picking up this reserve tank.
Yeah, I like doing it this way, where you can just stand next to, just like Maniacal did, where he stood next to the reserve tank and shot an angle down shot to open up that missile.
Yeah, and you just come through here. Using the plasma is definitely gonna cause a lot of lag. A lot of times you'll see players just missile to get through there. No, Maniacal getting the usually you see players land on the lower one, and you can deboost all the way across. I'm not sure if he just was going for that and went too far right and was able to recover, or if that's what he normally goes for.
All right, and that's everything in Norfair. So now we get to leave and just X-ray scope and some cleanup in the Blue Brinstar area. A couple of criteria items as well, just to round us out.
Yeah, I feel like you're minimizing a little bit. The cleanup section is one of the more difficult parts.
Oh, for sure.
So definitely plenty of time for Maniacal to catch up. I mean, even just if they were walking into G4 right now, I mean, this race is on the top of each other. Returning is very difficult.
Yeah, Maniacal makes it made up a lot of time. Absolutely.
Yeah, he didn't have the strongest Meridian, but his lower Norfair was very good. Pretty much closing up the entirety of this gap.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a pause there from KRISTOPHOLO at the bottom of Red Tower there that allows Maniacal to catch up even a little bit more. And they're just right neck and neck going through the X-ray room.
Yeah, when races are this close, like a lot of times you're playing, like, oh, how much time did that really lose? Like when you see a race this close, and a player
matters
up and passing you, like Maniacal's probably about to do.
And look
here.
at this,
Yeah,
almost just barely gained that X-ray scope, just a little bit after KRISTOPHOLO. Maybe not even a full second. It's so close at this point. Maniacal doing a very nice job making up that gap that he lost a ton of time when he missed the E-tank on the first try. Does lose a little bit more time exiting the X-ray area, but still very, very close. Again, as early on in the match, we did see a lot of times when they were just a door transition apart, and that's about where we're at right now.
Yeah, I don't think Maniacal ever actually passed KRISTOPHOLO. We were saying, like, it was like 4 or 5.
He was right about to get there with the X-ray room, and then I think he lost a little bit of time there, and we have this maybe door transition to half a door transition.
It's a little high for that power bomb.
You don't usually see that power bomb laid that high. You do usually see it laid before picking up the power bomb. I think that's a little more optimal.
Yeah, it is slightly. Fortunately, he did have it far. I couldn't really tell with it up so high, but he was able to lay it far enough, right?
And as it was early on, we see the runners picking up the items at the same time.
Yeah, we should really thank Maniacal for missing that edit Kuni tank. really giving us an exciting finish here.
Absolutely. Oh, but not quite getting on that bridge, though. There's a little bit of time there.
Both missed the bridge. We're now got synchronous mistakes between these two.
Just to keep it interesting.
Yeah, we're down to frames here.
I don't know if either one of them is watching at this point. I know KRISTOPHOLO early on, he had actually asked, "Is it okay to watch?" And, you know, it's hundo. You know, no, there's no advantage to be gained or lost by watching or not watching. So of course he's allowed to watch, and he early on said, "Can't watch the race. Too nervous."
You might get reminded of your opponent picking up an item you missed, but I think that Maniacal finally takes the lead back, although barely, just again ahead by frames here.
Yeah, pretty synchronous, pretty synced going up that elevator.
Yeah, I mean at this point, like unless either one has a pretty bad disaster anywhere, it's just going to come down to who has a better Torian. There are definitely mistakes you can make in these last couple rooms. The criteria supers are a pretty easy item to get, but if you mess up the strat, it can just cost you a buck at a time. Again, speaking from experience.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite strats, so hopefully we see both of them get it.
Yeah.
Maniacal gets it, so does KRISTOPHOLO. Awesome. Just being able to hold that charge shot.
And he did the thing that caused you to mess it up, where he was holding the charge before he ran through the door, because it kind of usually you just wait till it charges and then you let it go.
Yeah, with that charge plasma.
Yelled at me for.
You get to run and fire at the right time, and those the enemies will just line up perfectly.
Yeah, I mean this is about as close to frame for frame as you get. So yeah, this is just at this point this is 100% down to Torian. I mean, one of them might lose a couple seconds for something silly coming up, but it's a Torian battle at this point.
Oh, Maniacal missing what I know is his favorite mock ball, coming out of the 230 missiles.
Yeah, it's definitely a swag mock ball to get.
But it's got a few seconds of a lead going into Torian now. Maniacal having already pre-opened the door. You don't see that a lot in vanilla runs. You see that a lot in randomizers where you have the supers really early. Now they get to wait, contemplate things, get ready for the rest of the run here.
Yeah, we'll see if either of them opts to take off screw attack. It can mess up your Metroid rooms. Some of the grouping strats that you can do with space jump are a little bit easier than the 100% strats, a little bit slower too. And then you also have to do a different Zeb skip. You can't do like the standard Zeb skip with screw attack on.
Yeah, I do.
Some players just elect to take it off here. It's a little bit slower, but if you're not good at the other strats, it's definitely the better thing to do.
Yeah, I do expect Maniacal to at some point will be taking off that screw attack. Probably also taking off that Varia suit to set up for stand-up glitch. In fact, you see it right now.
Yeah, I mean, if it's the only thing that's stopping you is Zeb skip, you probably should learn the spring ball skip, which is really easy to do. It's just a little bit slower.
Yep.
Your other option is either the down back skip, which is pretty tricky, or the speed Zeb skip, which is a little slow. Plus, it's also pretty tricky. It's a pretty short shine. It looks like KRISTOPHOLO is opting to group them. I think he did leave. Yeah, he did leave the screw attack on, so he couldn't really just space jump through the room to group them.
Michael still just a little bit of a lead here, and assuming that KRISTOPHOLO is going to menu at some point, turn off that screw attack. He's going to lose a little bit more time when he does that. Maniacal having already done that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I would not be surprised at all to just see a spring ball Zeb skip here.
Of course, that's super count between the two of them. Maniacal with only 4, KRISTOPHOLO with 28. That might come into play as close as this race is.
Yeah, basically Maniacal's just gonna have to just missile Mother Brain down. Gonna use the 3 supers to get through the 3 doors. That is some bad drop luck
Yeah, really
for
bad.
Maniacal.
Fortunately, this is 100%, so he's got 207 missiles, and no worries of running out.
Yeah, and they're both setting for baby skip. Again, this is about 30 seconds if you don't get it. Looks like both of them set it up pretty good.
Let's jump for jump.
Yeah, already got his top cleared out. Looks like Maniacal is gonna get it, and oh, they both get it to keep this race close.
Nice. That's the way we want to see it.
That is that's a clippable moment right there. This is down to like who manages the stand-up cutscene better.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, although Maniacal, yeah, it looks like KRISTOPHOLO is going to be going for the spring ball Zeb skip, so Maniacal has a little extra time here. But KRISTOPHOLO gets it nicely. You can see really not that big of a time loss to go ahead and just do that. Maniacal is going to be losing a little bit of time here just for having to missile these Mother Brain down. And this is
so close.
It's honestly going to come again. It's going to come down to do they both manage the stand-up glitch correctly?
Yeah.
And then it's going to come down to escape with Maniacal, with like a 2-second lead at this point.
At about.
Yeah, it's just so close. I think this is close enough that if KRISTOPHOLO gets the better Mother Brain cutscene, he will take the lead.
Interesting, KRISTOPHOLO taking his shots much closer.
Yeah, I mean, it's Hundo. You got a billion health. You're gonna damn yourself down. Like, who cares?
Oh, for sure.
There is some lag management here. If you have that red beam out, you really don't want your plasma beam shot out as well. It should be yeah. KRISTOPHOLO left gravity or Vari suit on too, so had to damage himself down a little bit more. Yeah, I actually think Maniacal might have. I wasn't really looking, but I think he actually had the better cutscene because the lead looks like a second or two wider now at this point.
Not that it makes a difference to this point, but KRISTOPHOLO taking those early shots before Mother Brain actually turns to this gray color actually don't do anything. Not going to lose him time, though. Maybe puts him in a good rhythm for it. But both otherwise having a very good stand-up.
Yeah, the main thing you want to do here is make sure all these onion shots actually connect with the baby. The baby's actually taking damage from those, it's not just like a fixed cutscene length. You can see KRISTOPHOLO missing some of these onion rings, so it's just going to extend the length of this cutscene. Maniacal shooting missiles?
That was a little odd. Not sure what's going on there.
Basically, Mother Brain just gave you the Death Star and you decided to use your... Yeah, so Maniacal definitely, with an advantage come out here. Escape's pretty straightforward. There's a couple places you can definitely lose some time, though.
KRISTOPHOLO not really managing that first room as well as he could. Loses a little bit more time there.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Maniacal's got what I guess you can describe as a sizable lead at this point. But Parlor can go pretty badly pretty quickly.
There's so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
This room that Maniacal is in right now, so-called Leodoc's room, a name for a runner who struggled in this room, I believe in the randomizer tournament.
I think we've all struggled in this room.
Oh, for sure. Leodoc just took the fall for the rest of us.
Yeah, so Maniacal really just needs to have a fairly clean Parlor. It looks like he's getting through it just fine.
All right, there it is, Maniacal, finishing in first place with an official SRL time of 1:25:05, and KRISTOPHOLO finishing with a 1:25:14, 9 seconds apart. So this race really did live up to the hype of just how close these runners are. And no, KRISTOPHOLO did not forfeit. We'll fix that.
I hit the wrong button.
And hopefully we can get both these guys in for an interview, because that was quite the race.
Yeah, hopefully both of them will come in. That was quite the race. Like I said, 2 seconds. It was like 2 seconds coming to Mother Brain. I think Maniacal got a slightly better cutscene and then a little bit better management of the stand-up cutscene. Gave him what I guess you can describe as a comfortable lead there at the end. Just based on what the rest of it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure how comfortable it was, but just Maniacal losing all that time at Edakun's and just being, slowly making it up throughout the rest of the run was really impressive. I like the comment in chat. More excited than the NBA Finals. Being not a basketball fan, that shouldn't be too hard. The GGs to both our runners, and they will be joining us in just a second.
Yeah, an invite should have been sent out. So
yeah, I see KRISTOPHOLO in the setup room, and Maniacal, I know, will have to reset up his mic and all that, so it takes a second.
Yeah, I think this is probably the closest race we've had so far, at least from what I've seen. I didn't see the first race today. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, just really excited. I mean, and definitely expected. We said these guys were only 6 seconds apart in qualifying. They ended up 9 seconds apart in this race. Maniacal, I guess technically the favorite, being the higher seed, managed to barely pull it out.
Yeah, we do have with us KRISTOPHOLO. Maniacal will be here in just a second. Wow, what a race!
My goodness.
Yeah, it was quite a ride that you guys gave us. But yeah, I'm not sure if you were what Tracy said, that you might have been a little too nervous to watch, but like early on, you guys had like 4 or 5 lead changes. And basically, yeah, Maniacal had that issue in Edakun's, giving you about a 30-second lead, which you kept through pretty much Ultra Meridia. And then lost. Maniacal just had a really great Lower Norfair, cut it down to about a 10-second differential. And then by the time you guys ended up in G4, you were pretty much right on top of each other. You guys had simultaneous baby skips, and Maniacal was like 2 seconds ahead at Mother Brain. And basically the difference was that Maniacal just had a little bit better stand-up, and that was pretty much the 9 seconds there.
Yeah, I watched the first about 20 minutes and then decided I was too nervous, so I closed it. Didn't realize how close we were.
I watched and listened to the whole heckin' thing. And I read chat and I beefed it.
Yeah. So did you know that there was a gap there? Is this your first time playing, or that gets a lot of casual runners?
The gap in Kraid's lair?
No,
the
Edakun's.
The Edakun's. I thought you were talking about the 3 seconds I lost on Kraid missiles. I was like, Jesus, we're going deep here. Deep cut.
I think you're the one going deep there. No, the Edakun pit.
Yeah, I jumped the wrong time and I went for a ride, and I know chat was on me. I should have gone to get the power bomb first and then gone back down and around. But like knowing I was watching and I saw how close it was, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to like play out of my brain for the rest of this run because I'm like plus 2 minutes right now, and so I like double golded down the stretch. Not Lower Norfair. Lower Norfair actually I lost time against PB, but I thought my PB Lower Norfair was bad, but maybe not. But I got 2 golds and like clawed it back. But GG KRISTOPHOLO, holy crap, dude.
Yeah, good game. It was close. I made sure to delete my splits before the race so that I wasn't comparing against anything. But still, lots of pressure. Damn.
Yeah, I was running against splits from a PB that I got at like running at race time last night just to like get my like mental state right to try and run at night o'clock. I was like, can I run? And I honestly, I was just kind of tilted last night in general, and I was like, I need a beer and I need some Super Metroid right about now, and like banged out a PB, and so I felt good into the race, but not good enough because I didn't bop duck.
Yeah, you posted at a time that was 2 seconds slower than me yesterday. I was like, oh man, I got a PB today to keep you apart, and then you pull out a 125. So, man.
Yeah, this one it went off the rails. We had some Alcatraz issues, and then
Oh God,
then Fantoon issues, and then upper wrecked ship issues, and Edicoon's issue. Like Edicoon's issues was the real big one, but I did get all the items. Cool.
Yeah,
just
we have
like,
simultaneous 100%, so no one has to be disqualified.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Like when you're grinding Hundo, like the way that you miss and you get 99 is like something like you did, where you have to like do some sort of weird backup that you're not used to. Is honestly the most likely way. So yeah, it's definitely good that you got everything. That's very important.
Yeah, I had some weird like improv backups this run. I think like nerves really settled in, especially once I fell at Edicoon's and like knew just how far I was behind. And I was like, I really want to like go forward and get my junk kicked in by Behemoth. And so I was like, I gotta try and do my best here, and or at least give a competitive race. And
For sure.
it was a sick race. What I could see, I'm gonna watch it back for sure.
Well, I mean, it seems that this happens with you. We had the race in the multi-category tournament that unfortunately you came out on the wrong side of against Hero 82. Was any of that going through
I jumped at the Meridia tube.
Yes, you
this
did.
time. I was like, could I just get a not close, like not, oh my god, my heart race? But no, I love these. I would much rather have these, even though like in the moment they're really stressful, and trying to execute under that pressure is honestly, you can't get it in any other environment, right? Like unless you're running against like super green splits or something. But like just putting yourself in the crucible and having to execute is just a blast. And I'm so glad that KRISTOPHOLO and I had that this evening. Or this morning for KRISTOPHOLO.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning. You're gonna be on a high all day, dude.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna take a nap.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Being in a race, you have to live with your mistakes. You can't reset. You know, that's so much pressure. It's great. It's good fun.
Yeah, I think we traded like pretty brutal mistakes like back and forth. It sounded like I only was able to check like indoor transitions and stuff what was going on, so I missed some of the big ones. But did you end up sequencing Meridia unusually or something? I felt like Meridia, like I got close and then like I had a bunch of items to still get.
I don't know. I've been practicing Meridia. I've had big problems with it lately. For some reason, Main Street I've been missing consistently, so I just took my time with it, honestly. It's like, now's not the time to be taking risks. So.
Yeah, you guys are more just like traded like minor mistakes in Meridia. Maniacal, you kind of had a little bit of a Dragon party.
Oh boy, yeah, my Dragon opener opened me is what happened. It was not good.
Yeah, so I mean, like you had that mistake, and then like KRISTOPHOLO was really just not letting you back into the race through all of Meridia, and then you guys got to Lower Norfair, and I guess you decided to turn it on. But yeah, I mean, congrats on after making that mistake and just keeping your composure and able to come back, that's very nicely done.
Yeah, so I missed the easy 2-tap off the elevator. So I need to give shout outs to Kip for his Plowerhouse Junior, which I tried my best to emulate without knowing where the pillars
ball
were.
strat that he came up with, yeah.
So I tried my best to, and I got the jump through the door with some amount of speed. So I felt good about that. I was still behind at that point, but I had to chuckle.
Yeah, I ran out of power bombs in Lower Norfair, so that was embarrassing.
Oh gosh.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I'm always really low. Like early Croc, you're usually, unless you get insane drops, really low in Lower Norfair, but usually you've got enough. Where did it get you? Like what were you out for?
I was at 0 after getting the Golden Chorizo super missiles, so I realized that if I wanted to make it into Ridley's lair proper, then I needed to farm just a touch. So I had to skip fast pillars.
Okay, yeah, I just do medium pillars with space jump and screw attack through there anyway. But yeah, having to farm the violas that's a good heads up, honestly, because that's your best bet for drops there by a lot.
Spent some time in the GT room as well, trying to pick up power bombs, but he didn't drop that many for me, so it was a bit unfortunate. But I'm glad I caught it instead of catching it at the yellow door.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely tragic. That would have been like going to Fire Fleas or something.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. Yeah, it was interesting how you used your power bomb, ended up at 0, and then it was pick up the power bomb to shame. Not that it's particularly shameful in 100%, because you do need to pick them up, but it's fairly unusual for them to be your next power bombs.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, this one, I'm looking forward to watching it back. Now I have to go try and sleep though, so I don't know how that's gonna go.
Yeah, I gotta get my day started here. So.
But yeah,
right.
Thank you, Tracy and Duck, both for staying up late and commentating this. I'm glad we're able to give you a good race to talk about. And thank you, KRISTOPHOLO, for the flexibility in scheduling, dude, and for racing me in the morning. GG.
Yes, thanks for setting up this time, and thanks again, commentators. That was awesome. I'm going to go back and watch this right now.
Yeah, always a pleasure. And KRISTOPHOLO, to you, I think I said this the last time I commentated one of your races, but good to have you back. I know it's been a while, so glad you're back in the community.
Yeah, happy to be back.
Yeah, you can go listen to me slur your name a bunch.
All right. Yeah, so I guess that'll do it for us. We do have a whole lot of races coming up tomorrow. Let me pull up that schedule.
It's just a bunch of jerks racing tomorrow.
Yeah, we do have a few of those. Let's see. We got at 7 o'clock we have Toasty versus Woody. At 9 o'clock we have our own Apathy Duck versus Shy Guy, also known as Metroid MST, and Sasho Boss versus Lake Demon in a nice 4-way. At 11 o'clock we have I don't know what it is with these late times, but we got 3 races within an hour and a half. 11 o'clock we have Zeb versus Thornado. At midnight we have Gil 42 versus P-Toil, and at 12:30 a.m. we have White Mage Becky versus J-Chalk. So a whole lot of Super Metroid coming up tomorrow in this 100% tournament.
Yeah, should be exciting. I guess if either of our racers have anything else left to say.
Nah, just bring it on, Behemoth. I'm ready.
Yeah,
Good luck. I'm 125 ready for you.
If you could upset him, and then I can upset Fuzda, then we can race. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be
just
maybe
you just have to beat Behemoth.
If Duckfist can do it, so can I, right?
Yeah. All right, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us. If Tracy, if you want to close us out here.
Sure. Yeah. So thank you to Duck for joining me on commentary. Thank you to our runners, and of course, thank you to SpeedGaming for setting us up. We had Rail and Tanker setting us up. I believe he woke up just to set this up and went back to bed also in the European area. So definitely shout outs to him. But yeah, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you all tomorrow. And for those matches, hope to see you then.